Big first day of action here at Crankworx Rotorua 2022. With the dual slalom done just a few hours ago, it's a quick turnaround for the riders. Jackson Frew took the win, but it wasn't enough to move Bas van Steenbergen out of that top spot of the King of Crankworx leaderboard. On the women's side, a second place for Harriet Burbage-Smith brings her closer to her competitors. The youngster Jenna Hastings also shook things up with a third place, knocking Caroline Buchanan out of a podium spot. Will the master of pump track look for redemption tonight in Rotorua? Who will come out on top after this big double-header day? There's only one way to find out.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Yeah, let's do this. Crankworx Rotorua Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo 7. Doubleheader day, why not keep the action rolling? Psyched to see the crowd gathering around the amphitheater, that original location for the Pump Track Challenge here in Rotorua. It's a classic spot. I'm psyched we're back in this location, and I'm psyched to be back up in the booth with my buddy here, Charlie Murray, Enduro Racing Star. You've been hanging out all day. You were core side for the slalom. Thanks for joining me up in the booth now for Pump Track. You ready to rip?
Yeah, I'm excited. It's good to be back, and yeah, we saw the dual slalom. So a lot of these riders have had a lot on their plate already. They've been racing this morning. They're fatigued. It's getting late in the evening, but they've got to keep racing, and now's the crunch time. They've got to focus.
Yeah, fourth stop of the World Tour, the final stop of this 2022 season here on the Crankworx World Tour. And let's take an overhead look at this course. This course is big, man. Tall berms, a big stall wall spine to finish things off in the final straightaway. We're definitely going to see some high speeds and some interesting action out here as different line options present themselves in the preliminary matchups. There's a nice little view. You can actually see the topography, but I feel like we could get deeper. We could get in there and really get a better view. Why don't we go on board with Jenna Hastings and Shania Rawson for a course preview.
This is the 2022 Crankworx Rotorua Pump Track course preview. All right, drop in. Around a couple corners. Woo. Back corner, little step down, roller, double, stall wall, woo, and into the finish. Nice.
So yeah, it looks like it's a bit shorter than the track we had in Cairns, but it's still got, you know, those technical features. The stall wall is a really interesting one because you've got to carry speed coming off that wall across the finish line.
I mean, we were watching the round of 16 and you pointed something out. Obviously, these rollers are rhythm sections. There's different ways to tackle and skin that cat with manualing and doubling. But some of those tight berms at the beginning, the first straightaway, you got to link those as well, don't you?
You've got to link the corners as well.
So as we mentioned, big day already. A lot of these riders competing in slalom, switching gears, grabbing a different bike, switching up some champagne-soaked kits, and deciding to fill her up again for Pump Track. We're picking up the broadcast in the round of 8. Let's look at some highlights from the round of 16 and how we got here.
Yeah, so we saw Jenna and Paula going head-to-head. And Jenna's looking really comfortable. She's got that fresh white kit on, changed out of the champagne-soaked clothes, and she was unstoppable in this round.
So Jenna Hastings knocking out Paula Zabasa. And then we had Shania Rawson and Via Verbeek. I mean, Via leading the Queen of Crankworx. Take a look at what happened.
Yeah, I think this shocked everyone. Shania, she's a Rotorua local, and she's looking so comfortable out here. Her and Jenna both making light work of this course.
Shania Rawson made it into the bronze medal matchup just a year ago. Now she's knocked out a big Goliath, Via Verbeek, out of the competition. Shania moving into the round of 8. Then Jordy Scott, number 2 qualifier, going up against Ellie Chu.
Yeah, so Ellie's the Nitro Circus freestyler, but Jordy just, looking so solid here. She actually won in 2020. Last time, I think she was here in 2020 and took the gold medal.
So big ups to Ellie Chu making it into the round of 16. The freestyle rider, the big backflips, big front flips, getting knocked out by Jordy Scott. You see Jordy Scott there, the very bottom of the brackets, meaning she's the second place qualifier. Now we got to look at the top. Who's the number 1 qualifier? Caroline Buchanan. Caroline Buchanan's made it into the gold medal matchup every single stop of this 2022 season here in pump track. She'll be going up against Louise Ferguson in run number 1.
And she won in Cairns, so she's hot off that first step of the podium.
Carrying that momentum, we'll see Harriet Burbage-Smith going up against Manon Veenstra. Good stuff out here. Long day, first day of broadcast competition from Rotorua, New Zealand. And I'll tell you what, it's the Crankworx Rotorua Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo 7, and it starts right now.
Main stage. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's mount up.
Oh, come on! Oh, no! Oh!
Check for pulse.
You have got to be kidding me! Come on! Yeah! Well, thanks for joining us out here this evening. A beautiful evening for some pump track racing. If earlier today's slalom broadcast was any indication, expect the unexpected when it comes to head-to-head gated racing here in Rotorua. Best dirt on the planet. Come on, there's a hot take. What do you think? Best dirt on the planet?
Especially after the rain we've had this week. It's just prime conditions today. The riders were stoked this morning, and right now down the pump track, they're all saying how good the dirt is.
The riders are throwing roosts, and we're throwing points their way. First, second, and third get you the most points. You collect them all throughout the season, and you end up with hopefully a big number next to your name at the final stop. Via Verbeek, 726 points, only 4 points ahead of second place Jordy Scott. Via Verbeek not making it into the round of 8, so Jordy, the big opportunity to skyrocket herself back to the top of the leaderboard that she was at the top of at the start today. And we got our first heat lining up in the gate. This is going to be Caroline Buchanan on screen right now, going up against Louise Ferguson. Caroline, the #1 qualifier in today's event. She's been so consistent all year, making it into the gold medal matchup at every single pump track race so far in this 2022 season. Louise Ferguson, 8th place qualifier. Here we go.
Oh, a pretty even start from both riders. But Caroline is slightly ahead, I think. It's such a short track out and back, but you've just got to be tapped the whole time. And Caroline is clean through that first run.
I love that back berm. It's your first opportunity to see, real tangible evidence of who's ahead. If they reach that back berm together, they have a moment where they're just staring at each other's eyeballs. But yeah, you're right. Caroline making it, to that back section first. Ruling with an iron fist all day. Obviously, it all comes down to the start. Gain momentum every roller, but
she hopped in, just catching the tranny beautifully there. We've seen quite different techniques, but that hop and then into the tranny has been working well. We saw Bass, we saw Caroline then, and Louise as well. Just a little hop and then getting that gravity up and using that momentum to carry you down the downslope.
This is a good size start tower as well. Sometimes we have quite small start towers and there's no speed once you get to the first roller, but this one's offering up a lot of gravity, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually, much more gravity than we saw in Cairns.
All right. Next heat in the gate has Harriet Burbage-Smith going up against Manon Veenstra, coming from that BMX background from the Netherlands.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see. There's a lot of BMXs in the round of 8 tonight, so it crosses over well. And Manon looking so solid through there.
So there we go, 0.4 separating Has from Manon Veenstra. Veenstra with the advantage.
That's a good deficit, 0.4.
Right, it is. It's always fun to see the BMX riders show up at a Crankworx.
Yeah.
A lot of times, this pump track race is right up their alley and they get hooked. It draws them into not only more pump track races, but the Crankworx World Tour in general. You see them stepping outside and doing more disciplines. We're cool to see Veenstra out here. We got Jenna Hastings and Shania Rawson on course now.
We saw Shania taking out Via in that round of 16, so yeah, the two Rotorua locals going head to head, but she can't quite match Jenna at the moment. that was impressive. Jenna was so smooth.
Listen to Jen.
Oh, the music needs to go down.
Oh, for the start.
She probably can't hear the beeps at the start.
100%.
So yeah, some riders look at the lights, some riders listen for the beeps, but if the music's too loud and you just like to listen to the beeps, it's going to throw you off a little bit.
So Jenna took the third in slalom already today. She would like the music down, please.
Here we have Geordie Scott. It's got Megan Williams, who's another BMXer.
So Geordie Scott in the gate right now. Obviously, we're talking about her so much when it comes to the Queen overall title. We caught up with her earlier and talked about that overall.
Coming into this week, the hunt for the Queen is super tight, and it's going to come down to every single point. It's kind of an honor to be up there. This is my first year actually doing the entire world tour. I've wanted to since 2020, but then life happened. So yeah, I'm really stoked to be up in this battle. My goal for this year was just to like podium in the overall, so being in the fight for the win is super awesome, and it's definitely a lot to handle, but it's really cool just being up with like Via and Caroline, who've fought for this title over and over again.
Wow, the door is so open right now for Geordie Scott. She's only 4 points behind Via. Via out of the competition here in pump track. So much opportunity here for Geordie Scott. She's going up against 7th place qualifier Megan Williams.
Megan Williams is the national champ, the New Zealand national champ for BMX. So let's see how she goes here. On the dirt track, head to head with Geordie Scott. Both riders are way well. Here we go. Geordie's in front. No, sorry. Geordie is in front. She is.
There we go. Geordie Scott crossing the line first by 0.2. And we talk about this Queen and King of Crankworx overall title hunt so much. Let's just shine a little light on what's at stake. We're talking about $20,000 going to the rider with the most points at the end of the season. So every heat matters, and Geordie Scott putting that 0.2 there on Williams, one step closer to grabbing those points. Well, there we go. That's what the bracket looks like after run one in our quarterfinals. We're going to get them back over in line to switch sides and do it all over again. Caroline Buchanan, advantage over Louise Ferguson. Well, good stuff. Nothing like an evening of pump track racing. You know, we get the lights going. Obviously, it's getting darker out here, and the energy just continues to build. We've got a lot of points to give out today, and I'm curious to see who's going to get them. Pump track racing in general, such a great format. Everybody can kind of relate to it.
Yeah, it's really cool because pump track, like that's something you do when you're out on the trail. You know, that's a fundamental skill of riding bikes, and seeing the BMXers with their pumping skills from their BMX racing, and then the mountain bikers who use it to generate speed in the rough downhill tracks, it's across the board. So it's something that you can relate to and you can see, and then these guys can come and watch it in a small area and see all the action. It's just great.
Yeah, they're on these little bikes, but all the skills they're demonstrating apply to all different types of trail riding. We caught up with Dan Butterworth. He was 4th place in Cairns, and we just talked all things bike setup for pump track, and yeah, just what pump track means in general. We also checked in with the folks at Torpedo 7 for a little insight on how you set a bike up for pump track. Take a look.
Pump track is head-to-head racing. Riders will ride one side, then the other. Fastest combined time wins and goes through to the next round. We've got a new location for the pump track this year in Rotorua. It's back where the original pump track was. Corners look cool. It's got a spine like pretty much at the end of the track, so we're going to be going real quick into that, so that should be real fun. Most people have the jump bike as their bike of choice for pump track, as it's no rear suspension and usually pump everything up to the max. That way you don't lose any of the pump and you can get around the track as fast as possible. Pump track's always pretty tight racing. I always just try and stay smooth on the bike, not braking and just pushing every downside so it's smooth and fast.
Hi, my name's Cam. I'm down here at the Torpedo 7 Expo booth. We are going to show you how to set up a bike for pump track. Pump track, we have no pedaling, so we've got to remove the chain from this. We're going to use the quick link pliers, break our quick link, drop our chain. Once the chain is off, we've got to adjust our tyre pressures. We want to maximise that for the tyre. So with this particular tyre, we can run this up to 65 PSI. This is going to give us high speed, low drag. Now moving on to the front of the bike, we're going to adjust our suspension setup. We're going to maximise the pressure in the front end there, make it really responsive and stiff, so when you drive into the berms and those pumps, it's going to respond nicely. We're going to stiffen the compression up, and we're going to back off the rebound so it's nice and fast and responsive there too.
Well, we will see Dan Butterworth in the round of 8 here today. He's done his job so far, making it through the 32, the 16, made it into the round of 8, along with 7 other fast racers. Let's take a look back at some highlights from the round of 16 for the men.
So yeah, this was we had Michael Bias, the national NZ BMX champ, up against Connor Mahukia. And just watch closely right now, because this is awesome backflip.
Crowd pleaser alert. Connor Mahuika, the Rotorua local, always down to put on a show for the crowd. He knew he wasn't going to make it out of that round. Put on a show.
And we also saw some cool bike skills here from Mason. Bass obviously flying around the course, and Mason goes for a different approach on this last feature.
Look at this. All right, we got to go to the side angle so you can see how ridiculous it is to try to transfer from that spine.
Here we go.
All the way to the next roller. Didn't quite make it.
Look at the impact through his legs.
I love it, though.
That was awesome.
I mean, the crowd is way bigger now than it was then, but still the rider's going, all right, I'm out, let's put on a show.
And then here, Jackson, who won the dual slalom earlier, going up against Jaden Fleming, and Jaden just looking dialed out on course.
I mean, this is a big deal as well. Jackson Frew, a guy who's battling it out for the king of Crankworx, you know, not going to get those top points here. Thanks to Jaden Fleming. I mean, Bass is probably feeding him some beers tonight for knocking out Jackson Frew. And that's how we found ourselves here with these quarterfinals. Ben Sink going up against Brierly, Butterworth and Bias, Van Steenbergen and Jaden Fleming, and then Blankensop and Jung. Blankensop, man, he did not have an easy path in either. He had to eliminate Slavic to make it into the round of 8, which was impressive. You think about the backgrounds of those two riders, you know, you would not have expected that.
Yeah, and we saw in Cairns, Blinky was really strong on the pump track, so he's obviously enjoying it.
So Nils Ben Sink, today's #1 qualifier, going up against Liam Brierly. Expect the Kiwi crowd to be cheering for Liam here.
So yeah, Nils is looking so strong. Good advantage over Liam.
Yeah, Nils crossing the line.
Let's have
0.6 ahead of Liam.
Let's have a look at how he did that start, because he just generated speed right from the get-go.
Yeah, what are you seeing here?
Let's have a close look. Oh, he's actually doing a bit of a bar hump there, just moving the bike forward and then into that downslope. He did it, so two hops.
The happy dog.
The happy dog.
Yeah, we're seeing so many different, I mean, over the years we've seen a bunch of different starting techniques. It really comes down to what the start gate setup is like. A lot of them are flatter, and you'd see riders weaving back and forth, trying to generate speed side to side. This one has enough pitch to it to where the hop seems to really be the best technique, but there's even different strategies of how to initiate that hop.
Yeah, and remember, these riders, they're doing the gate starts with no chain, which is, you know, very rare for a gate start. So it's completely different.
So Daniel Butterworth, we just heard from him in that video piece earlier. He was 4th place in Cairns. Now he's the 5th place qualifier here in Rotorua. He's going up against Michael Bias. Kiwi versus Kiwi.
Yeah, Michael, the NZ national champ in BMX, and he's taking his big wheels here to the pump track.
That.
It's so close. Is Dan ahead?
I think he is.
Oh, just ahead.
0.2. Advantage going to Daniel Butterworth.
I want to hear what he says about the stall wall. That was close. Just have a look at the start. Let's see Dan's technique here.
Front tire up.
He's going for quite similar, but the single hit bar hump.
Yeah, so front tire up as the gates drop, and then both tires stay on the ground until the last hop.
Oh, he just seems slightly off center there.
Yeah, he kind of came up a little bit short.
I almost think he went a bit too early, maybe.
Do you see his eyes though up in the gate? You were talking about this earlier. There's a couple different ways to time that gate, right?
Yeah, well, you're either looking at the lights or listening for the beeps. But if you listen for the beeps, you can look ahead easier and see where you're going. So, but if the music's loud, the crowd's loud, yeah, you can't hear it. You can't hear those beeps.
So Bas van Steenbergen, take a look at his starting technique here in a minute, but right now we're going to take a look at how he's set up his tires. He's running 80 PSI front and rear.
It's like a road bike.
Yeah.
But you just don't want any sort of, flex in the bike. You want every bit of momentum to be generated going forward.
Going for those
not
maxes,
up and down.
DTH, front and rear, super fast rolling tire, minimal treads. Pump her up to 80. Look where you're going, not where you are, and hope for the best. Here we go, Bas van Steenbergen up against Jaden Fleming.
Jaden's just behind. But, oh, Bas is looking tidy.
I mean, just all in all, we saw him racing slalom today. He just looks to be so fit and so cozy on the bike these days. What's he been up to between Cairns and here?
I'm not sure. I haven't been stalking him, but yeah, he's definitely, I reckon he's just looking fit and strong. I was talking to his trainer in Canada, and they just do a lot of work prepping pre-season, and then they're just maintaining through the season. But he's coming to the end of the season with good form.
Yeah, he decided to just stay down here, spend the time down here instead of going home back to Canada between Cairns and Rotorua. And it sounds like he's been really enjoying training on different stuff that he's used to training on at home. It kind of keeps it fresh.
Yeah. Well, we've seen him in the downhill. He's been getting the big bike out a little bit. But here we have Blinky and Gaita Jung from France.
Oh, man.
Blinky can't quite match him.
So Jung, 0.14 ahead of Sam Blankensop.
Let's see if there's any mistakes here, if Blinky was just lacking a little bit of pace.
In full speed, I thought that was a manual. He actually doubled it. He just dipped his back tire, staying so low.
Was that Blinky or
Blinky
Jung?
did.
All right. It's amazing. The mountain biker holds his own on the pump track.
So Jung with the advantage over Blankensop. Bas van Steenbergen 0.3 ahead of Jaden Fleming, Butterworth over Bias, and Niels Bensink, #1 qualifier, carrying that confidence through this round of quarterfinals here with a 0.6 ahead of Brierley.
So yeah, it's a big advantage for Bensink there.
Tough to beat the vibe of a Crankworx World Tour stop. Your favorite riders out there signing autographs. We got a stage, bands are playing, it's on. Second broadcast of the day here. Now we're in a run 2 in the quarterfinals for the women here in the pump track race. Caroline Buchanan 0.6 ahead of Louise Ferguson. They're off.
Louise has a lot of work to do, but Caroline gets away slightly better, I think, out of the start. And it's, Caroline's ahead, definitely. All she has to do is, match Louise, and it's miles ahead.
I mean, she's on another level right now. She's been first or second every stop in pump track so far this year. She rolls right through the round of 8 into the semifinals now.
She was first in Cairns with the shoulder injury, so that's saying something.
She's got to be that much stronger now. It's going to be cool to see her in speed and style this stop as well, because I think the door is going to be open for some more tricks that she wasn't ready to do because she was still recovering from that shoulder injury back in Cairns. Manon Veenstra, 4th place qualifier, going up against Harriet Burbage-Smith in the middle of a long day for Haz out here. Manon with the 0.4 advantage.
Yeah, I'm interested, but Manon's got the BMX background, and run 1, she made it work for her. They're close, but she's got the advantage in run 2 as well. And it looks like she'll be advancing.
There we go. Veenstra knocks out Harriet. It's been a long day for her already. She grabbed the silver in the slalom, and she will collect somewhere between 8 or 7 points out here, or 8th place or 7th place points. We'll have to see based on qualification results.
Oh, slight little bit of a squirrel coming out of that back corner for Manon. But didn't slow her down at all, and you can hear their tires, how hard they are at the end on the gravel there.
Ooh, take a look at this. That run was the fastest time of the day for the women. Manon Veenstra, 14.12. Caroline, ooh, that could be interesting.
It's close, but that's impressive because we know how fast Caroline is.
Yeah, but we also wonder how hard she's pushing it right now as well.
That's a good point. She could be warming into it.
So, Jenna Hastings back in action, fresh off that bronze earlier today in the dual slalom.
She's up against Shania Rawson. They're both Rotorua girls.
Shania Rawson, 4th place here just a year ago, made it into that bronze medal matchup. Jenna, the number 3 qualifier. Look at this. We got a heart rate monitor. 121 BPMs.
Was that Jenna or Shania?
Jenna.
Jenna. It's pretty calm. I think I'd be a bit higher than that.
She's got 0.3 advantage.
Hopping in. Jenna's looking good. Yep. She's definitely got an advantage.
So,
and Jenna's smooth through there.
Jenna's gonna do it. She knocks Shania Rawson out. Advances into the round of 4.
So yeah, she'll be looking to kind of better that result from last year.
Yeah, she's hoping
3rd place last year.
2-medal day today.
I know she was very worried about the champagne when I talked to her earlier. She was didn't want to get cold after her champagne shower from the dual slalom. It's a lot in one day for these riders.
We look back up for the final one of the women's heat. Jordy Scott with a .278 advantage.
All right, well, who's going to be meeting up with Jenna Hastings in the semifinals? We got Jordy Scott with .2 ahead of Megan Williams.
So it's going to be one of these 2 riders. Can Jordy hold that buffer? It looks like she's going to be good. Nice manual through there. And there she goes, smoothly advancing.
Jordy Scott securing that semifinal spot. She'll go up against Jenna Hastings.
Here we have another look at the start of Jordy. Perfect timing. She's just front wheel in and then the back follows. That's a slight different tactic than we've seen. But it's working for her. I guess every rider has a little different quirk, but with these chainless gate starts, it's, you know, you got to figure it out for yourself.
Riding a bike with no chain takes some getting used to. You find yourself trying to pedal.
So let's have a chat to Jordy.
Jordy, how's it going down there? Way to go, making it into the round of 4. Long day. What's it like doing 2 events in one day?
Yeah, it's a lot. Last time we've done 2 events in one day, I didn't qualify for slalom, so kind of had that advantage going. Didn't make it much further today, but definitely still took some out of me. So tried to be a bit conservative in practice and get my lines dialed and just hoping to keep going faster throughout the night.
Nice work. And how are you finding the course back down here at the original venue? And what's the conditions like? How's the dirt?
Yeah, the course is awesome. It's super fun. It's holding up really well for us. I think all the moisture it got yesterday, like usually where we would kind of dig in and things would start falling apart, it's just holding up the harder we push it. So I'm super stoked on it.
Well, you got so much to think about, 2 races in one day. I'm going to give you something else to think about. You're coming into this race 4 points back from the Queen of Crankworx. Via's not in the race anymore. How much you thinking about that Queen title hunt?
When I'm racing, I'm not thinking about it much, but I'm definitely on my phone literally calculating points like between rounds just because it's interesting to me and I think it's exciting. So yeah, when I'm racing, I'm just riding the best lap I can, but I do think crunching the numbers is a little bit fun.
Hey, I agree. We're on the same page. We're up here at the calculator as well. This last stop of the tour is so exciting. Congratulations making it into the semifinals. Best of luck. Hope you get some more points out there.
Thank you.
I like that. You know, sometimes the riders say, oh, I don't even think about it. Come on,
yeah,
$20,000, you're thinking about it. She's
Oh.
on it. She's like, I get my calculator out.
Yeah, I like that.
Love it.
And it is so exciting, you know, like for all the riders and for the viewers. That's what we want to see. Those
Good
battles.
old competition out here. That's the truth when it comes to the last stop on the World Tour. So Caroline Buchanan will face off against Veenstra. It'll be Hastings and Jordy Scott. And now let's figure out who's going to fill those blanks in the semifinals brackets for the men. Charlie, this right here is why I prefer this location for the pump track. It's rules. Look, we got people way up on the hill, still getting a good view. It's tradition.
It's perfect having that banking there. You can get so many people with such a good view of the course.
So Niels Bensink with 0.6 advantage over Liam Brierley.
It's going to be hard for Liam to come back, but he's actually way really well. Bensink is slightly behind, but all he needs to do is be in touch.
Oh, come on, no way! Oh, wow! What an upset!
He misses the finish. We've got to see a replay of that. Do you see him? He tagged the middle flag with his rear wheel.
Oh, what a bummer. He was pushing so hard trying to claw back from that disadvantage. Hey, you know what? If it's the last run of your day, you might as well go out swinging.
He scrubbed so hard. His bike went sideways into that flag. Let's have a look.
Here we go. Oh, he was locked up on the way up.
And he hits the start lights. Do you see that?
You're right. We got to see that again. All right, let's see if we can. Here's the start light. Boom! Tire tap. Love it.
And he gets squirrely. He holds it together, but he's way out to the left.
Oh, that was cool. He's going out in style. It's like we saw Connor Mahuika going for the flip. We saw that triple attempt.
He's just holding on to the horse at that point.
I like that. We got some action. Hopefully that thing's not damaged. Yeah, Jimmy. Fix it up. Get your crescent wrench out, Jimmy. We had so many missed gates today in dual slalom. Was that insane or what?
Yeah, and they give penalties for the missed gates.
Oh, yeah.
So you just have to be so dialed. But here, I mean, we've got coming down that back straight, you've got to be within your flags. If you come out of the back corner squint, you could be in trouble.
The riders are keeping Jimmy busy today. He was officiating all those replay reviews in the slalom when it comes to missed gates. He's out there fixing the timing lights. Let's talk about our next heat, loading up into the gate. Michael Bias, Daniel Butterworth.
Looks like Butterworth has that dark lens in there, so...
Oh, Milk was a bad choice.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have gone for that, but we'll see how it plays out for him.
You wake up in the morning, it seems like a great idea.
I mean, look, he's got an advantage, 0.2, so...
He's got his cool shades on.
Those lights are bright, though, eh? So maybe he needs it. Butterworth, he's actually slightly back. Bias looking solid. Can he make the differential? He does. Tobias advances into that semi-final.
Michael Bias,
the BMX national champ, coming back in run two, sorry.
Is there anything cooler than just barely being able to see because you got your cool shades on and advancing into the next round? That was a move.
It'll make for a good photo, the dark lens, that's for sure. Oh, it's so cool to see all the spectators out here just loving it, getting involved.
Speaking of getting involved, if you're watching right now, which if you're listening to me, you're watching, Red Bull Bike YouTube channel. We got a chat board going on here on the right side of your screen. Get on there.
Look, we've got someone at school who's watching, so I hope they're still focusing on their classwork, because
somebody's talking about how Jenna's wearing goggles to ward off the bugs. We do have a couple bugs around here.
Yeah, the lights are attracting them. You can see them flying through there. But we want those comments to keep rolling in, so anything, if Red Bull answers my comment...
Oh, you'll flip on Resi, Jaden Dose. Hey, we're talking to you. Is this categorized as answering your comment? Flip on Resi, my man. Let's see it. Yeah. I like it. What are you waiting for?
Got the props from Cam.
Let's tell him some tips, though. We don't want to, steer him astray. You know, manual. If you can manual, you see everybody out here in pump track manually through the rollers. If you can manual down the street, you can do a backflip. Time your manual at the top of the lip, you're going to do a backflip.
That's a good point.
Do it.
You're looping out Emmanuel on purpose.
What's his name again? Jaden. Jaden, you got this. Speaking of Jaden's, wow, this is just crazy timing.
There we go, Jaden Fleming up against Bass.
So Bass Van Steenbergen in the gate against Jaden Fleming. Let's take a look at how Bass sets his bike up for pump track.
Hey, I'm Bass Van Steenbergen, and we are here in Rotorua for the final stop of the Crankworx World Tour. This is my Max's bike check for the pump track presented by Torpedo 7. So for this race, I'm pretty much running my standard setup. I have a DTH in the back with a pace on the front. Put the pace on the front just to get a little bit more grip in the corners. DTH in the back because it rolls super fast. Both light EXO casing and both at 60 PSI. Super solid, rolls super fast. That's pretty much the name of the game on this one. For my fork, I pretty much just run it as stiff as it'll go. I'm maxed out on tokens, maxed out on pressure, and maxed out on compression. Yeah, that's kind of what you want for this setup. You don't want to lose any speed or any give in any of the transitions. So for pump track, I usually clip in. It's kind of half and half. Some people do, some people don't. I prefer doing it just because I feel like I can pick up through some of the transitions a little bit better, and it's just what I'm used to. Everything is pretty standard, but just a stiff, fast, hopefully fast setup. And that's my Max's bike check.
Perfect bike for slalom. He named that bike Max. He was racing that bike, I'd say perfect bike for pump track. He was racing that one in slalom in Cairns because he had an issue with the slalom bike. And yeah, it wasn't the ideal bike for that, but he still got a silver medal. And here he is, putting it to use on the pump track. Bass Van Steenbergen and Jaden Fleming.
Oh, it's neck and neck coming out of that back corner. Bass is slightly in front.
I mean, if you're watching Jaden Fleming, you're like, all right, nobody's going to beat this guy. He's perfect. And then you look over at Bass, and he's just got that extra edge. He's picking up milliseconds.
And he makes it work. He's going through to the semifinal.
Yeah. Man, timing is everything. When you go in slow-mo, you just see how absolutely precise every single movement that Bass Van Steenbergen does is. Jaden Fleming, a couple moments there where he was getting caught up on the wrong spots with the tranny. The beginning of this clip here. It's the little things you don't even notice in full speed until we slow it down here and find out where those milliseconds are being earned.
Yeah, right. He just had a little tap on his backside with the tire there too. That's not going to help your speed.
Well, speaking of tires, we got Gautier Jung set up right here. This can't be right. 43 PSI. He's hoping for traction out there. You typically see way more PSI. When we saw Bass's stats, he was at 80 PSI. He's got Icons front and rear.
That's the cross-country tire, isn't it, the Icon?
A little bit more tread than that DTH, so it's gotten him this far. Number 2 qualifier, obviously knows what he's doing.
And he's got that deficit, 0.147 over Blinky. Both away well. It looks, is Blinky, oh, he's made a mistake.
Issues for Blankensop. Look at this sunset we have.
He's going through. I'd like to see that, mistake Blinky made there.
Ooh, that's going to be good. We're going to have Bass and Jung in the semifinals.
Blinky's obviously scared. Here we go. Have a close look at this. Coming into this corner.
Oh!
He got, yeah, that was quite squirrely.
You know, Sam Blankensop getting stuffed up in that roller. That was the difference between elimination and triumph there. Gautier Jung triumphing over Blankensop, making it into semifinals, going up against Bass Van Steenbergen. That's going to be fun to watch. And then your number 1 qualifier, Ben Sink, will be going up against the New Zealand BMX national champ, Michael Bias. We're just getting closer to giving away hardware and points. We got Caroline Buchanan, who's made it into the gold medal round every single stop this year. She's going to have to get past number 4 qualifier Veenstra in order to do so again to finish the season. Jenna Hastings, Jordy Scott will battle it out there in Heat 2 of the semifinals.
the business end of the Crankworx World Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo.
So Caroline Buchanan, I mean, it's so great to have her back full-time World Tour. She's a legend when it comes to so many aspects of bicycle riding. And I mean, BMX, mountain bike. She's also doing so much in the world of like slope style. She's spreading her wings and doing slope style events as well. We'll see her back for speed and style.
Yeah, and like we said, we saw her take the gold medal in Cairns, so that'll be a goal for tonight. But first, she has to get past Manon Veenstra, which isn't going to be easy. A solid start from both girls. And I think, is Caroline ahead? It's so close. She is slightly ahead.
I mean, put on the gas in that final straightaway there, Caroline.
They can't control those 60 PSI tires on the gravel there.
Yeah, isn't that ironic? You know, you've got like this perfectly buffed pump track and you've got this bike that's set up only to ride that and then right into gravel.
There we go, fastest time of the day for Caroline. I'm not surprised because that was a textbook run.
Yeah, I think it was a 0.1 there. So Veenstra definitely an opportunity to stick with Caroline there, but Caroline's been looking so flawless.
Only one of those girls can go through to the gold medal round, so no matter how close their times are, one person has to go to the bronze.
Jenna and Jordy loaded up now. What a sunset we have here this evening. Jenna, if she makes it through, she's going to be able to have another chance at making it 2 medals in one day. Jordy Scott, it's all about the points for her. The higher she finishes, the more points she gets. She's going to get more than 4 points. We know that, so she'll be in the lead after tonight for the Queen of Crankworx. Here we go.
I think, did Jenna get away slightly better? Oh, it's so close.
Oh, ever so slightly.
Jenna's just ahead there, up high on the store wall.
Way to go, Jenna. Putting
.033.
300ths of a second.
There's nothing in it, so they're going to be putting everything on the line for that run too.
Jenna's so chill, right? She's got that like youthful exuberance, just bouncing around from podium to podium. Let's see what she can do tonight. Let's take a look back at some slow-mo replays. She was staring at that timing light.
Just that nice bunny hop, textbook bunny hop into the ramp there. Trying to get as much gravitational potential as she can. And you just see how much these riders, they're not pedaling, but they're still working even harder than if you were pedaling.
Talk about how ridiculous it is, how fatigued you can get without even taking a single pedal stroke.
I know, well, yeah, everyone who's tried a pump track will know that you're out of breath after one lap, and you can't figure out why, but it's because you can see here, every muscle in the body is working, resisting, balancing. And they generate so much speed around this, tight corners, tight transitions, just from pumping.
Huffing and puffing after a couple laps at your local pump track. Yeah, these skills apply to every aspect of mountain biking. If you have a pump track locally, get out there, brush up on those skills. Watch this broadcast, see if you can learn a thing or two, because these are the masters right here in the semifinals.
Here we have Michael Bias, that BMX national champion. He's been solid tonight.
Take a look at his heart rate.
130. So he's not too stressed. I wonder if we can see the heart rate at the end, because it'll be right up there.
Bensink is going to have a pretty nice advantage here. I'm not sure if they ended up giving him the max 1.5. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, never mind. This is run number 1 here. Niels Bensink, Michael Bias on course.
Bensink's ahead. He's clear ahead.
Bensink showing why he's got that number 1 next to his name. The top qualifier here for the men, putting a 0.6.
That's a decent advantage. It looked like Bias was he was quick out of the start, but then I don't know what happened coming around that back corner. Just slowed down a little bit.
I think what happened was he was going up against the number 1 qualifier.
Yeah, you're right.
Went from not going to going so quick. I wasn't ready at all.
there's tight corners here compared to a BMX track too, so that's got to make it hard for the guys with the BMX background.
So obviously something on this guy's mind is the overall king title. He's the reigning king. He's at the top of the leaderboard right now. We talked to him about it, see how much he's thinking about those numbers.
Yeah, obviously it's looking good for getting another King of Crankworx title. I think I just need to have a solid week and obviously try to not make any major mistakes, and I think yeah, if I just ride like I know I can, I should be able to wrap it up. But you never know what's going to happen. I don't want to celebrate too early or anything, or even think about it too much. Just race by race, and we'll see how she goes.
Well, things are definitely going as planned for Baz. He's coming into this race with an 87-point lead over Jackson Frew. Jackson Frew is already out of the competition. Despite having the second fastest time of the day, he wasn't able to make it out of his round of 8 matchup, his round of 16 matchup. So Baz van Steenbergen now squaring up against Gautier Jung, who qualified 1 spot ahead of him.
Oh, it's looking pretty even. Bass has got a slight advantage.
The scrub.
Nice scrub from Bass. But it's close. Gautier Jung is keeping him honest.
Yeah, 0.3, so definitely doable there for Jung. But Bass, he's on another level when it comes to the scrub on that spine. You see a lot of riders kind of throwing caution to the wind and risking a lot on that scrub, but Bass's technique is so flawless. He puts the bike down so early. Take a look at the side angle.
He's leaning the bike over, staying so low to the top of that wall.
Take a look at his back tire. That angle was so great too. You can see he's feathering a little bit of rear brake coming up just in order to loosen up that back tire just a touch and stay low. The old Bubba scrub. So Ben Sink with 0.6 ahead of Michael Bias and Bas van Steenbergen. We just saw him put that 0.3 on Gautier Jung. Things are heating up out here for both the women's and the men's category in the Crankworx Rotorua Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo 7. Buchanan with advantage over Veenstra.
It's close
Jenna
though.
Hastings with just a 300ths over Jordy Scott. Jordy needs as many points as possible out of this matchup to capitalize on the situation with Via out of the competition right now.
Here we go. Caroline and Manon. It's close, 0.16, sorry. So they're going to be putting it all on the line. And Caroline maybe no.
Oh, it's going to be tight, Charlie.
It's too close.
Yes, 500. So that
Caroline goes through.
I mean, once they crunched all the numbers, the 2-run combined time was just 0.1 different there. So Caroline Buchanan, despite not having the fastest time of the day, still makes it out of this round. But Veenstra,
it's impressive. The times are getting down there, almost below that 14-second mark.
Caroline doing what she needed to do to go every single stop of this 2022 season in the pump track races, making it into the final 2.
Yeah, but it was close, She didn't waste any energy. She was just doing exactly what she had to do.
That's a good point, right? We talk about how close these races are. How calculated is Caroline? Is she, is she going all out, or is she going, all right, save some energy, gotta win?
I don't know. She might be able to judge what 0.1 of a second looks like on track, but I don't think I could.
No. That's just what, what you get when you've been racing your entire life. She is such a veteran out here. All right, Jordy Scott, 300ths behind the youngster, Jenna Hastings. What's the story going to be here?
It's neck and neck, so whoever takes this should be going through.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow, what happened? Jenna with an issue. Jordy's going to do it. That's a big moment.
Around. Jenna had a mistake just before that back corner, and she even went for a pedal stroke.
That's what we were talking about earlier. It's hard to get yourself in the mode of thinking this bike doesn't pedal.
Yeah, well, she's been pedaling all morning into a slalom, so Here we go.
last one,
Here, listen.
and then like come into that one, and then for some reason just went so inside. Yeah. Tried to pedal.
I watched a video of me in practice, and I was like, "This is the turn." And I'm like,
Yes, here's a look what happened. Oh, so inside.
Oh, jeez. And that soft. Oh, no.
I mean, that's the instinct. Ah, I went too inside. Come on, get some speed.
Just here. So I wonder if it's the change in light or if she just didn't calculate it properly, but she was down in the low part. The corner was much tighter, lost the speed.
I think that corner more than any other corner on the course out here today, we've been seeing riders get offline, accidentally dive too far inside and just kills the exit speed.
Yeah, it's all about maintaining speed because you can't pedal. She even tried to pedal, but no chain, no pedaling action allowed. So you just have to try and maintain your speed. And if you're up on the top of the berm, it's like anything, like when you're trail riding, if you're on top of the berm on the hard pat, you can carry a lot more speed.
Well, it's all right, Jenna. You still got an opportunity to get another medal here today. She took the bronze in slalom. She's going to be going into the bronze medal matchup against Veenstra here in the pump track. And Jordy Scott, as you see, will be squaring up against Caroline Buchanan. Love it. The collision course pays off. Number 1 qualifier, Caroline Buchanan, going up against number 2 qualifier, Jordy Scott. Then Veenstra and Hastings. We got the top 4 qualifiers as our top 4 riders here into the final 2 matchups. So Niels Bensink getting ready in the gate. He's the owner of the top 2 times of the day.
And it's actually interesting to see that Bass has only got the 5th fastest time of the day.
That is crazy.
Yeah, Bensink is on form at the moment. And he's got a good advantage over Michael Bias.
0.6 here to play with for Niels Bensink.
Quick out of the start. Oh, Michael's ahead.
Keep in mind the magic number, 0.6.
Squeezing past the line.
Not going to be enough. Bensink.
He takes
advances.
both rounds.
Bensink into the gold medal matchup.
He's looking dangerous tonight.
It's so dark and stuff. And especially in the floor too.
Bensink from the Netherlands into the gold medal matchup. Who's going to join up with him? Is it going to be his old buddy Bas van Steenbergen, who he grew up racing with back in the Netherlands? They both live in Canada now. Funny that they both ended up on the Crankworx World Tour later in life here. Or is it going to be number 2 qualifier, Gautier Jung?
Bass has that advantage, 0.3 of a second. So he just has to keep it even. It's looking good.
Yeah, I think he's going to have it.
Jung's just ahead.
The magic number.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, it's going to be tight. I don't think it was more than 0.3, though. I don't think it was faster than 0.3.
No, look, neck and neck. Bass is looking, he's pretty collected.
Look at that going, well, what's it going to be? I feel like Bass generated so much speed in that back berm. It looked like he got there second, but he came out of it in first.
Yeah, well, we know Bass, he does all sorts of disciplines. He knows how to turn a corner. And let's just have a look here. He's got such good lines to the corners. A little bit low on that one, but look at him picking up, coming out of it, straight back into the pumping.
In that bike check, he talked about his choice to run clipless pedals so he can pick the bike up, and it really paid off there. Just placing that bike exactly where he needs it to be to find speed. Here we go, we saw that.
He's got that awesome scrub. And because he scrubs so well, he comes down slightly further up the wall, bit more momentum coming across the line, but from that angle, it looked like
Bass advances.
Goes ahead.
Look at that. Bass makes it into the gold medal matchup against Bensink. Sending Jung to the bronze medal matchup against Michael Bias. Here we go. Still the top 4 riders in the final 2 matchups, just a different order than what we had for the women.
Yeah, that qualifying is pretty accurate.
really the spoiler there is Bass, you know, with that third place qualification.
Yeah, but I never counted out Bass.
No, never. It's a task, man, trying to figure out how to pace yourself just for one of these races, but to do both of them in one day. When we're talking about slalom and pump track in the same day.
Yeah. And here we have the girls, like we saw before, 1 and 2 qualifiers in that gold medal matchup. And it's going to be good. Caroline versus Geordie Scott. And then obviously fighting for the bronze medal, Jenna and Manon Veenstra. So do you think there's any sort of technique with the qualifying? Do you want to have a lower qualifying to change your matchup, or are you just going 100%?
And it just it gives you such an easier path to the top if you have a strong qualifying.
Yeah.
You go up against lower seeded riders all day, you know, so it follows you throughout the day. So
you're not saving energy there at all?
I don't think so. I mean, you're just
going for it.
You're shooting yourself in the foot if you do, I think.
Yeah.
Well, after a great event on the Tawnyfud DH track, we're moving closer to the Skyline Bike Park for the 8th edition of the Rotorua Downhill. It's a natural, raw track. It's packed with jumps, routes, and technical sections. And we'll see the top international riders and fast locals going up against each other in a race against the clock. Make sure to join us for Downhill Day on Red Bull TV. It's tomorrow. It's going to be a wild one. We have some reason to believe there may be some water falling from the sky. This dirt can handle it. I think it's going to be a slippery, wet, wild one. I would not want to miss it if I were you. Make sure you tune in. All right, we're to that moment right now where we finally get to give away some hardware and some valuable points. Men and Veenstra on course against Jenna Hastings, bronze medal matchup.
It's so close. I think Madden's ahead there. And she's just smooth down that second straight. The finish straight she's flying down there.
Manon Veenstra, 0.3 ahead of Jenna Hastings. Manon says, come on, Jenna, you've already got a bronze medal today. I want this one.
Yeah, fair enough, but Jenna, we wanted to collect as much harder as possible.
Dutch BMX racers taking over Crankworx Pump Track. What do you think?
The BMX background is a strong showing here. But it's not the complete package. You've got to be able to turn these tight corners, which is where the mountain biking comes in.
You talk about how that's the game changer. You see a lot of riders come from BMX, but it takes them a little while to adjust to those tighter corners, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess the speeds are different in the corners, and the straights are much shorter. But the pumping, the BMX is just incredible at pumping.
But you're never not pedaling in BMX as well. You know, such a huge part of it is training yourself not to pedal here at Pump Track.
That's a good point. And here we have the bronze medal men's matchup.
Michael Bias and Gautier Jung.
Oh, it's so close. Bias is extending slightly. And he does it. 0.13 of an advantage to Michael Bias, the BMXer, like we said.
We got like full-on race kit versus chill vibe out here. So Bias.
He's got the coach's jacket on. He's looking relaxed.
Bias with the advantage.
Here we go.
Yeah, why not?
This is the
run one of the gold medal matchup. Caroline Buchanan, Geordie Scott. They got a lot to fight for here. Geordie Scott is looking for as many points as possible. She just needs 4 to tie the lead. She's going to get more than that. Caroline Buchanan sitting there, 26 points out of the lead. Yeah, expect to see a big shakeup. It all comes down to this.
So there's 20 points difference between first and second. First is 100 points, second is 80 points. So it looks like Caroline can't overtake Geordie because she needs 22 points to overtake Geordie.
Yeah, she's only...
Geordie's safe in that place at the moment.
Yeah, she can only get 20 more at this point, even if she wins. So, yeah, so much offense and defense playing a part here.
But I mean, Caroline, you know, she might not be thinking about the points. She just wants to win this race.
And she's done a good job of that all season. Only one race. She took silver every other one. She's got a gold medal. Here we go.
Geordie's not going to make it easy for her. And they're close. Caroline is so strong on that second straight.
She made it look easy.
Like you said, it's that back corner, isn't it?
I can't wait to see if that shakes up fastest time of the day at all. But yeah, that back corner is so important. Caroline Buchanan crossing the finish line, 0.3 ahead of Geordie Scott. And there we have it. Caroline Buchanan just posted the fastest time of the day. She busted that 14-second mark, 13.946. Peaking right for the finals.
I was hoping that was going to come. That's awesome. It's such a quick track. 14 seconds, but just 100% focus, 100% power. So slightly different start techniques. But the last straight, I think Caroline, she's been looking so strong on it, and we're going to see it here. What's she doing differently? She's just perfect, just catching those downsides.
Yeah, Geordie had a slight mistake coming out of that back berm. I mean, when we talk about mistake, it doesn't even really categorize as a mistake. It's just a little bit shy of flawless, whereas Caroline was just the tires in the right place to generate speed. So Caroline Buchanan with the advantage in this gold medal matchup. We'll switch sides and figure out who's getting gold medal, silver medal, and the big numbers. Right back to the men. Bensink, #1 qualifier, going up against Bass van Steenbergen.
Bass, the #3 qualifier, but he made it into that gold medal matchup. And he deserves to be here because he has been riding so well tonight.
What do you think? Who do you got your money on? I'm taking Bass.
All right, I've got Bensink. Okay, and it's going to be good. They're off. Flying, I can't. Oh, Bensink.
Oh, man. Oh, Bass is backed into a corner now. Bensink with 0.3 advantage.
That's a solid differential. I'm quite happy with my choice now. My forced choice, Cam,
yeah,
is
I know.
Paying dividends. But I'm not going to, it's not over till it's over.
I just love it when somebody who isn't the #1 qualifier has a chance to knock out the #1 qualifier.
Let's have a look.
I mean,
I don't think Bass had any mistakes, did he?
Bensink is just on fire right now.
It's a little bit low in that corner, maybe.
Well, same.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, same pickup out of that back berm.
I don't know. No mistakes really visibly, right? It's just Bensink's that much faster right now.
But we can't count out Bass at all.
Never. Yeah, that's what's so cool watching these riders. Obviously, final stop thinking about points, but they all want to win. You know, going, all right, 20 more points for the win, but the feeling of winning, that's what we're shooting for.
Exactly. I mean, they're competitors, so that's their nature. They just want to win. And so do these two, but Jenna has her work cut out for a slight mistake in run 1. Didn't come off, but just lost her momentum.
Veenstra with the advantage of 0.3. Here we go.
It's looking close. Is Jenna just in front? She needs 0.3, so she's got work to do.
Jenna got it. She's going to cross first.
Does she?
Oh, not by enough.
No, she's... So...
Manon Veenstra grabs the bronze medal.
Oh, Manon has been riding so well tonight. BMX background, paying dividends. She's just been clean, strong pumping, and so cool to see her grabbing that bronze medal.
So it's not going to be 2 medals today for Jenna Hastings. Veenstra getting her name in the history books.
Well done, man, and that was really impressive riding. How much did your BMX background help here tonight?
I definitely think it helps me a lot. I'm used to like doing gates, I'm used to the pumping, the corners. Just normally I have a chain, so it was really odd to like do gates that way. But man, it was so much fun and it was refreshing to go somewhere like having no experience, and I couldn't get the smile on my face. It was so much fun.
It's so cool to see you girls just loving it out there. And yeah, tell me about the gate start, no chain, and are you listening for the lights? Oh, sorry, watching the lights or listening for the sound?
Usually I would definitely like watch the lights, but they were quite high up. So I couldn't get that quite right, so I was just like trying to go when the gate dropped.
Well, good stuff. We've seen so many times in the past riders from BMX come out here and fall in love with Crankworx festivals through pump track, and we expect to see you competing in some more disciplines out here.
Who knows? We never know. I do want to say before we end this, I am not an Olympic athlete yet. I'm training my ass off to get there, but I just want to make sure everyone knows because that kept being said. So respect for all of them.
Right on. Great work. Well, you are a Crankworx athlete now. Congratulations on that bronze medal.
Thank you so much.
Well done. All right, Veenstra grabs the bronze. As we take a peek at the riders loading up in the gate right now. Michael Bias with the advantage of 0.13 over Gautier Jung. Bronze medal on the line.
These guys just pumping so quickly. Oh, Jung's he's ahead. Is he?
Oh, almost threw it away.
Heavy on the front. What's it going to be?
Oh, Michael Bias does it. Look at that.
0.04.
Just by 0.04 of a second. So tight racing down to the wire here. Bronze medal going to the New Zealand national BMX champ, Michael Bias.
Jung had that slight mistake coming off the stall wall or the scrub wall, and I think that lost him some speed.
I'm impressed he held on.
Oh, he's been doing push-ups.
Somebody's been doing
push-ups. Let's have a look if we can see that replay from the scrub wall there. See what I'm talking about. Michael Bias, he's just been, I reckon he's getting used to the track. He's getting better and better each round. Coming into the scrub wall now.
This is where it happened.
Tobias was behind, and he just lost the second run, but he had enough of a differential to secure himself that bit of shiny hardware. There he is, compressed over the bars. Michael Bias, well done. That was impressive riding. How's it coming from the BMX? You're obviously the national champion. Coming out here to Crankworx, it's a bit of a different scene. You're looking slightly more casual. Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I love Crankworx, and that's why I come here to enjoy it. It's I'm actually on a break from, not a break from BMX, just I'm not training at the moment, but Crankworx is always a good exception to get on the mountain bike and race against these guys that are honestly phenomenal. They're dedicating everything they got towards this, and they're amazing.
Well, we love to see you out here. We just talked to Manon about this. It's great to see riders from BMX come out here and try their hand at pump track, and we always try to encourage them to get out in other disciplines. Can we see you out here on full suspension doing some other races?
Yeah, I want to. I walked the track last week for the downhill, and I'm not going to do any good, but I just wanted to ride down, and I gave dual slalom a go, and it was a bit of fun, but yeah, I think BMX is always going to excel more in pump track than those other events.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can get you to cross over to the dark side. Congratulations grabbing that bronze medal. Great performance out there.
Well done.
Thanks, guys.
So there we have it. Michael Bias taking all those skills from the tiny bikes, applying them to the mountain bikes here. Triumphing over Gautier Jung. Gautier Jung issues in the final straightaway. Michael Bias had the advantage, and he grabs a Crankworx souvenir in the form of a Rotorua 2022 bronze medal. All right, time for the big leagues. Gold medal matchup for the women. Caroline Buchanan with the advantage over Jordy Scott. Caroline Buchanan, #1 qualifier, flawless all evening.
She's also got the advantage, 0.37, so decent bit of buffer there.
She was the winner here just a year ago. Can she make it 2 years in a row? Caroline with 0.3 to play with. Jordy fighting hard. Oh!
It's neck and neck.
Caroline's gotta have it. Let's wait for the official word, but Caroline Buchanan had some time to play with. They crossed the finish line side by side.
She's doing the double fist pump. She knows that she's done enough.
What a season there for Caroline Buchanan. Take a look back at some replays.
It was close. The second run was neck and neck. She's really got a weight going forward over the handlebars. Over that scrub wall.
There we go, the official word. We had a feeling, there it is. Caroline Buchanan grabs the gold medal. Jordy Scott taking those 80 points. Caroline Buchanan grabbing 100.
Caroline, well done. That was impressive riding. How was the course tonight? How were the fans, the spectators?
The fans here in Rotorua are always so good. I mean, this is what we live for. I'm a performer and I love to shine and I love you guys. I love the high fives. So yeah, give it up to Rotorua. Thank you to the Millennium for having me and always making me feel welcome at home.
Great stuff. You know, you won here last year. You won all but just one of the pump track races in the 2022 season. So reflecting on the success, what does it feel like to have so much success and get these points from pump track discipline?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's something I love, and I'm going on to the Red Bull Worlds coming up for pump track. So yeah, it's something that I love, but I mean, every point's valuable, and all these girls, we're putting on a show, and it's incredible. And I think, you know, we talk about the overall, anyone deserves it, and I'm just stoked to be in the mix and take the win here tonight.
So I got to take this opportunity to ask you, how's the shoulder feeling? I know you were still just getting back on the bike in Cairns. We going to be seeing you racing speed and style here coming up?
Yeah, definitely. Shoulders come up good. It's not ideal, but yeah, I'll be in the downhill tomorrow in the mix as well as the speed and style. So put my hat in the mix for everything, and just thanks to my sponsors, Trek, Boost Mobile, and everyone for keeping me upright.
Well, thank you for the show, Caroline. Congratulations.
Thank you.
There you have it. Caroline Buchanan makes it a couple years in a row here at the Rotorua pump track. She had to do it by battling it out with the number 2 qualifier there, Jordy Scott. That's the way we love to see things shake down. And Caroline Buchanan grabs yet another gold medal in this 2022 season, plus some valuable points. Look at this, a shake-up.
Vi's gone down from first to third, and just in that gold medal round.
So, Jordy back to the top of that leaderboard. Every time she's at the top of that leaderboard, it's by a tiny margin. Only difference now is that she's 2 points ahead of a different rider, Caroline Buchanan, moving up into that second place spot.
But Caroline's taking every chance, speed and style, downhill. So she's going for every point she can.
Well, we are far from over here. Crankworx Rotorua Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo 7. Gold medal matchup for the men. Niels Bensink has the advantage. It's a 0.3 ahead of Bas van Steenbergen.
Bas has a lot of work to do, but this is bike racing. Anything could happen. Bensink's been so solid tonight. Let's have a look at run 1. Bensink was just textbook. No mistakes from Bas. Bensink was just firing on all cylinders. You see a few little bumps coming into that back berm of the course now. It's getting a bit corrugated from all these riders ripping around it all night long.
So I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm saying Bass was flawless in that race right there. Bensink is just that much faster. It feels like Bensink needs a mistake for Bass to win here. Bensink is on fire right now.
He just has to keep it smooth, stay calm. Here we go.
Oh, neck and
Bass is
neck.
in touch. Scrubbing. And Bass. It was
Not
Bass.
going to be enough there. Niels Bensink will do it. Backing up that #1 qualification result, grabbing the gold medal.
He's been, he deserves it. He's been absolutely ripping around this track.
Yeah. So crazy seeing these guys in the finals. Once I learned that backstory, the fact that they both grew up in the Netherlands, they actually raced each other as kids back in the day. And I mean, this is not the first time we've seen them go head-to-head in a Crankworx final.
And they're just having fun out there. It's so cool to see.
This is a thing we gotta keep rolling. I like this victory lap. It's gotta become a tradition.
The camaraderie is great between these two riders. Bass he's got a big smile on.
Oh my God. I know what soft spot you were talking about. Yeah. Oh man.
Congratulations, Niels. That was very impressive riding. Do you enjoy the track here in Rotorua?
Thanks. Yeah. At first, I was a bit skeptical. I wasn't sure if the speed was going to be high, but now how it was running in finals, it was insane. So fast, and it's holding up. So, yeah, happy.
So there's no the dirt's perfect, and you know it's we didn't see any holes in the track or anything. So it looks like it's been built to perfection.
For sure. Yeah. It's they did a great job on it.
So looking at some results here, you started out the season with a win in Innsbruck and Pump Track, finished out the season. Nice sandwich. What's it like to start strong, end strong, and what are your plans for 2023?
To be honest, I really needed this. Like Whistler and Cairns wasn't that great for me. I just didn't feel myself, and then I don't know, I was hungry for this one. Finished off the season good and give myself a good birthday present today. So,
hey!
Yeah,
well,
happy birthday.
That was pretty cool. Never raced on my birthday before, so yeah.
What a nice little birthday present you gave yourself. Let's hear it for Niels Bensink. Happy birthday, boy. Gold medal. Go eat some cake.
You and beer.
Well done. Yeah, you can swap out the cake for a keg. Then look at the King of Crankworx overall leaderboard now. Bas van Steenbergen, I mean, didn't win the battle, but he's leading the war right now, extending that lead.
Yeah, he's got a huge lead. Looks like 143 points there. So that is a lot to make up. And he's quite confident in that interview before. He just needs to keep on trucking. He knows he can ride well. He just needs to stay relaxed, and hopefully it works out for him.
Yeah, I mean, Thomas Lemoyne not decided to do Pump Track today. He did a post on social media, decided he was going to focus his energies on speed and style and slope style. So Saturday and Sunday, expect to see a lot from one of the crowd favorites out there. But man, Bass is just running away with it now with Lemoyne deciding not to compete in Pump Track.
Yeah, Bass has definitely got that good advantage in the King of Crankworx, but the Queen is so close.
Well, really looking forward to tomorrow's broadcast. I hope you are as well out there at home. It's going to be an interesting one. I was hanging out with Alan Cook up here for the slalom broadcast. He'll be competing in the downhill. He did practice out there today. And you wouldn't know it from the broadcast temperatures and weather conditions we've had so far today, but the rain has been falling from the sky. What do you think the course is going to be like tomorrow?
I think the course will be great if the conditions are like this. If we have some rain, it'll get slippery. But this dirt can handle a bit of moisture, but it reaches a level and it just becomes ice. So it's going to be interesting. I'm very excited to see what happens tomorrow.
Who doesn't want to watch that? Join us for downhill tomorrow. Hey, Charlie, thanks, my man. It's been fun hanging out with you for Pump Track. Thank you for joining us. Doubleheader day today, and it's all about downhill tomorrow. We hope to see you there. Thanks for joining us.